Right now, live at 5, backlash over a billboard. A Valley sign is altered to read, "Shoot a school kid."
And I saw the billboard and I'm like, what? What is going on with that?
Well, the sign has sparked outrage, but the group behind this says people are missing the real message.
13 Action News anchor Leslie Manin is live near the 15 in Spring Mountain, where the billboard has since been painted over. Leslie.
Trisha, Steve, that sign has completely been whited out tonight, but I want to show you what this billboard originally looked like before it was altered. You see that billboard in the distance advertising your chance to shoot a semi-automatic rifle. That's what it originally looked like. This group says people should be more mad at signs like this across the valley and not at them.
You have to be louder than an AR-15, unfortunately.
And this message might have been. As people traveled along the I-15 this morning, this billboard was catching a lot of attention.
And I saw the billboard and I'm like, what? What is going on with that?
The art collective, known as Indecline, admits to altering this billboard by Battlefield Vegas. Instead of advertising a semi-automatic rifle, the group chose to push their message on gun reform. The billboard then reading, "Shoot a school kid, $29.
If someone has a problem with, the way this was conveyed, I would suggest, looking at America's tolerance essentially for our school kids and our friends and families getting shot down by these assault rifles in the first place.
Indecline is known for altering many billboards across the valley to push beliefs. They say while controversial, people are missing the real message. A small print on the billboard that reads, "Defend lives, reform laws."
It should thoroughly extinguish any claims that we're, looking to create controversy with no discussion.
But for one October survivor, Joel Isola, this message did more harm than good.
Lives were lost. People's families were shaken forever. And now it's being pushed as an agenda.
And, someone's really starving for attention.
Indecline says it has received backlash from its own supporters on this billboard. But tonight, despite the billboard being whited out, those who did this are standing behind their actions and saying the reactions just show a bigger issue.
It's how we are as a country, we're completely divided, and we're divided on this billboard.
Well, it's not the first time Indecline has made waves here in the valley. Coming up at 6 p.m., what other art they're responsible for and why even their supporters aren't backing them up this time. Reporting live, Leslie Manin, 13 Action News.
Leslie, thank you. Concerns tonight after 2 students are found with guns and ammunition at 2 Valley schools today. Police say a 17-year-old at Palo Verde High School had a gun and ammo in his backpack. The gun was not loaded and no threats were made. An administrator found the weapon. The student was taken into custody. A gun also found in a 17-year-old girl's purse at Desert Rose Adult High School. Police say there was 1 round in the chamber, but no threats were made. We're told students reported the gun to administrators.
And we have some breaking news to tell you about right now. We have just learned that all the assets from Stephen Paddock's estate will be divvied up amongst all of the 1 October shooting victims. This is according to the Review Journal. It will include the families of the 58 who were killed and the 500 who were injured. Paddock's mother was his sole heir by default, and she was the one who made this decision. Steve.
Thanks, Carla. Just in, Clark County is issuing a dust advisory for tomorrow. That's because the winds are starting to pick up in some parts of the valley. Let's take a look at our wind tracker right now. You can see the current wind speeds right now. Everything from calm to double digits. But what will happen through the rest of the night? We have an idea. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Brian Schofield with a little bit of a preview. Brian.
Yeah, big winds on the way. You've seen the trees move around a little bit off in the distance, and there'll be some lulls in the activity, but we know they're going to ramp up quite a bit. Let me show you peak gusts today. Believe it or not, these are not as impressive as they will be for tomorrow. Of course, the usual spots that get the strongest gusts are starting to register those incredibly strong gusts, but believe it or not, these areas will even get stronger gusts for tomorrow. So the setup is this. I'll tell you that high wind warning, mountains and west, that starts at midnight tonight, and wind advisories for the entire valley starting tomorrow morning. And coming up, I'm going to show you which neighborhoods will get the biggest blast in your 13 first alert forecast just ahead.
Brian, thank you. New allegations against Steve Wynn. 2 massage therapists have reportedly filed lawsuits against the billionaire, claiming that he used his power to coerce them into sexual acts. They are just the latest allegations against the gaming billionaire. Now, last week, authorities revealed 2 other women filed police reports against him for incidents stemming from the 1970s. Wynn's spokesperson has not yet responded to these latest claims. Wynn denies all allegations.
Developing tonight, it looks like the guys in the suits will have almost as much work to do in the coming days as the people wearing hard hats on the Raider Stadium project. 13 Action News reporter Brian Callahan tells us what's next and what, if anything, could stop the progress at this point.
Well, the short answer is there's not much that's going to stop these machines from getting the stadium built at this point. After approving the deals today, the Stadium Authority is waiting for NFL owners in the county to sign off on the more than 50 legal documents that make up the lease. Essentially, that comes down to dotting I's and crossing T's. One of those details is the final cost of the stadium. Of course, that number has long been expected to be in the $1.8 billion range, with another $75 to $100 million set aside for the Henderson practice facility and headquarters. The Raiders are expected to get the final construction estimates from the contractor in 10 days, presenting it to both the Stadium Authority and NFL owners.
How confident they'll approve everything on the 26th?
I certainly don't want to make any predictions, but we've had tremendous conversations with members of the league staff that then brief the finance committee.
The Stadium Authority is already setting aside time March 29th to sign the lease, but the one problem that may not be solved by then is where they're going to park all the cars here for the 65,000-seat stadium. We're going to have more on that problem coming up at 6. Brian Callahan, 13 Action News.
All right, Brian, thank you. Well, a shooting at a marijuana dispensary is raising safety concerns at local shops. Police say the two suspects were inside the Reef dispensary near Cheyenne and MLK just before noon today. They were kicked out after a disagreement with a security guard. The suspect fired 2 shots at the guard while driving away. The guard fired back. Nobody was injured. No arrests have been made.
Administrators at Sierra Vista High School sent a letter home to parents today following the death of a 9th grader last night. Police say 14-year-old Alani Hill was jaywalking when he was hit by a car at the intersection of Durango and Spring Mountain. That happened while he was trying to catch up to some friends. In a letter to parents, the principal expressed his condolences and informed parents that counseling services will be available for students if they need them. It was the first of 2 deadly crashes in less than 24 hours. A motorized wheelchair rider was killed this morning after being hit by a vehicle on Sunset near Pecos. That accident is under investigation. Carla.
Right now, reaction to a video from the Russian government. It displays a new arsenal of military weapons and appears to show an animation of nuclear warheads that are raining down on Florida. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin unveiled this array of nuclear weapons that he claims are invincible. He warns that Russia would respond in kind to any nuclear threat from the West. A new Russian armada presented via animation that allegedly includes a nuclear-powered cruise missile, a nuclear-powered underwater drone, a hypersonic missile that travels at 20 times the speed of sound, and a laser weapon. The Russian president boasting, quote,
"Ничего подобного ни у кого в мире."
No one in the world has anything like that. Vladimir Putin telling the audience during his State of the Nation address that the new nuclear weapons cannot be intercepted, that they can overcome any missile defense system, and are capable of striking anywhere in the world. The response here in the U.S.
We're not surprised by the statement, and the American people should rest assured that we are fully prepared.
Some nuclear experts think the Russian investment into new weapons might be a reaction to U.S. plans to modernize its nuclear arsenal. Today's speech comes less than 3 weeks from a presidential election in Russia, in which President Putin is expected to handily win. At this time, President Trump has not responded to the video or Putin's speech. Steve.
Thanks, Carla. Chopper 13 fast and first over a fire at an abandoned warehouse this morning near Spring Mountain in the 15. One person suffered burns but should be okay. That building, as you can see, was engulfed in flames at one point. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
Caesars Entertainment has raised parking prices again. Self-parking at Caesars Palace is now $12, up from $10. The Cromwell, Paris, Bally's, Flamingo, Harrah's, and Link price is now $9, up from $7. Self-parking at the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino will remain free. Well, a Henderson man with cancer claims he's been having problems with the RTC's paratransit bus. He says he's even missed doctor's appointments because the bus has been late. When you ask, we investigate. Here's Contact 13 investigative reporter Joe Bartels with what happened after we got involved.
Here's this troublemaker here.
Brad Taylor says she's his little angel. His 6-year-old granddaughter means the world to him.
I plan to live. I've been told that I had some things wrong with me that might not be around long, but I'm going to defy that because I have to see my youngest grandchild graduate high school.
Brad has COPD and stage 3 prostate cancer, among other health complications. He goes 5 days a week to get his vital cancer treatment at a facility about 20 miles from his apartment.
All very important to me, sir. If these treatments don't work, it kind of means the end of Brad.
Brad says he needs the paratransit bus to get to and from his appointments.
I have to talk to them because I'm so late.
But he says the bus is hardly reliable. He says he's even run out of battery on his oxygen machine due to the long travel times.
One day I counted to time and there was 7 hours of travel time for a 15-minute treatment.
Contact 13 reached out to the RTC and they promised to do better in the future. As of Wednesday, Brad says the bus got him to his appointment ahead of schedule. He even got a phone call to make sure his ride home went smoothly. Joe Bartels, 13 Action News.
And we looked into this after Brad reached out to us. As always, if you have a problem you would like us to check out, just send us an email to 13investigates@ktnv.com and please include your name and phone number.
Check this out. A man is punched several times by a police officer. Hear what led to the violent arrest. Plus,
we believe there are live children out there. We've just got to find them.
Recovery rates of missing children have tripled since 1990. And now technology is making even a bigger difference.
And a new website that lets you eat lunch and empower women at the same time. Stay with us.